Morning, everybody. Aloha. Welcome to Just Talking 24/7, page 7. We're just continually going on our little journey here. My name's Cam, as always, and hope this one will be as um, educational but also entertaining as I hope it is. I'm going to start this little thing off by saying that I like YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube since I found it. Okay, like that I'm new to this computer thing, and the whole experience to me, it's like a kid in a candy store. Who's never had candy, and all of a sudden you let him loose in a candy store. And I found YouTube, and I've gravitated toward the law enforcement things. I watch high speed chases. I watch the body cams, the police body cams. I watch the court proceedings. And that's because my background is police science and law enforcement. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the cards that I would become a law enforcement officer. And from the um, the things that I see on YouTube, I'm glad I'm not. The police today, I do not envy their job, nor would I want it. They need a level of tolerance and understanding. And I can see why people say police don't care. It's because the society doesn't care about them. And I've always said it that the only bad thing about being a policeman is that we have to recruit from the human race. Like that movie RoboCop when it first came out in the 70s. You know, um, the policeman thought that was a great idea. We have all policemen and total logical um, um, ex- execution of the law. I don't want to use that word execution. I'm looking for another word, but I can't find one right now. Yeah, you know, perfect logical execution of the law by the letter. Okay, take them to court, and with the strength of a RoboCop, you can resist all you want. You can shoot him all you want, but everything bounce off. And if you shoot him, he'll shoot you back. And do we really want that type of law enforcement? Some people will say yes, some people will say no. But the way things are going today, it looks like, yeah, if I screw up, I want to get, I deserve it. But I am the minority, which is brings us to the subject of today's talk. And that is the one thing that all these people don't show, don't have, I don't know if they even understand what it is responsibility. You know, we have to have rules, and we have to have consequences for the rules. And you have to know that there are consequences for misbehaving or not following the rules. And this knowledge, and you weigh out, the balance. Is it worth doing it if it's not? But this knowledge, all of that is responsibility. And you take it upon yourself. They talk about, and our forefathers wrote it down about inalienable rights, our freedoms. Yeah, we have freedom. This is a free country, it's called. And that's in quotes, big quotes. But freedom comes with a price. And that price is you have to take responsibility for using the freedoms. Sure, you can have a freedom of speech, but if you slander someone, or you defame somebody, you have to stand up to the responsibility of doing that. You got the perfect right to say it, but there are responsibility, there are consequences for you saying it. And now, take Will Smith, right? With was Chris Rock at the Oscars or something, and Chris Rock picked on, he made fun of Will Smith's wife, who's suffering from a disease, and caused her to, cut her hair short and stuff like that. And Chris Rock is supposed to be a comedian, but he has no taste. Okay, that was to me was very tasteless, and I am for Will Smith. If someone had done that to my wife, I would have gone up and I would have done more than one slap. I mean, I would have slapped him so hard I would have knocked him into tomorrow. But I guess Will, he missed him. It wasn't a good hit. Was a hit. Maybe, he thought, okay, I'm gonna hit him, but not that hard. But if I'm gonna go on national TV and hit somebody, you know that hit is gonna mean something. It's gonna say something. And I can say, oh, that's I was exercising my First Amendment right to freedom of speech. Because for some reason, the United States Supreme Court doesn't know the difference between speech and action. You want to see a good example of that? They've decided that burning the U.S. flag is it's freedom of speech. And I'm over there, wait, burning the flag is doing something. It's a physical activity. Speech is a vocal activity. How can you equate the two? But they have. So they set themselves a bad precedent. So me going up and crushing a guy's head is my right because of the First Amendment. And I would take the responsibility for it. And that would be an interesting, kind of an interesting argument. I wonder how far it would go. But anyway, yeah, nobody takes responsibility anymore. Our leaders, look at our leaders. Well, in Hawaii, we had a governor, and on January the 13th, 2018, that was a Saturday, about 7:30 in the morning. I was working. I was on floor. I came out of a room and I heard a weird sound, like a whoop, whoop. And I went outside. Everybody was looking at their phones. And I use a flip phone. In fact, I don't even have a phone at work. You want me, you call me on you can call the hospital. They'll patch you into me. But yeah, everybody knows you want me and it's an emergency, call the hospital. They'll know how to get in touch with me. I don't carry a work. I find that very disrespectful. But anyway, came out of the room and everybody's looking at their cell phone, their smartphone. Okay, and I put an emphasis on smart. Okay, I mean, you know me and my sarcasm. They're smartphones. And I told him, hey, what's up? And he said, we're under nuclear missile attack from the North Koreans. Even today I laugh. And I told him, what? He goes, yeah, we're under nuclear missile attack from North Korea. And I told him, you gotta be smoking something. I mean, you're supposed to prescribe the drugs, not take them, okay? He goes, no, it says this is not a drill. I told him, I don't care what your phone says. It's bullshit. Really simple bullshit. And he said, no, it's real. It's real. I said, okay, whatever. And I went on my way. I was doing, at that time of the morning, I'm doing certain things because the nurses are giving report, that stopped the report, right? So all the nurses just keep, but I knew it was BS. So I went ahead, I was doing all my things. And about 40 minutes later, that alarm went off again because on my unit, we're used to hearing alarms. The vent, the bed, the drips, the pumps, whatever. Everything has an alarm and something goes wrong. You know the sound of those alarms. But this one was that weird whoop, whoop, whoop sound. And the sound went off again. I said, what now? And he looks down and he goes, oh, they said it was a mistake. And I got to rub it in. I told him, don't you hate it when I'm right? And and this is a resident, right? But he got pissed because here's this nothing, tech being right and knowing more than his phone or him. And later on, when he calmed down, he asked me about it. And I told him, you better understand what an ICBM is. how it works. No, you don't have to, not the nitty gritty, but in principle, how an ICBM works and why they're so bad. Really, it's a weapon system that well, the best analogy I get is an ICBM is a shotgun and a cruise missile is a 308, 30-06, or 308 hunting rifle. That's the difference. Yeah. And if you understand that difference, you can research it. How an ICBM works, and then you know why it was bullshit, and it wouldn't happen to Hawaii. But nobody took. Our governor said these two clowns in the test center, or in the emergency center, they made a mistake. The guy pushed the wrong button. Okay. And so our governor said, I take full responsibility for this. Nothing happened. Now, how are we supposed to take that? You take responsibility and nothing happens? Great. I'll take responsibility about everything. I'll go blow somebody away. I'll go steal cars. Or I'll go and, shoplift and everything. And in fact, San Francisco, right? They're learning. The people got tired of it, and people said, no, stealing is stealing. So now people are getting arrested. And they wonder why they're getting arrested. All I did was shoplift. You see, it's people, and they want to believe what they're going to believe, and it's wrong. Cause we're not teaching, and it falls right back. That's education. But the education department is saying we're doing a fantastic job. Yeah. Well, proof is in the pudding, right? Okay. And it's responsibility. No one takes responsibility. When the governor of a state, there are only 50 of him now. Out of 340 million, there are only 50 governors. And he says he takes full responsibility and nothing happens. Something's wrong, folks. Okay? And I'm sure it happens in your state all the time. So it's not indigenous or unique to Hawaii. It's just, it slaps me in the face. I feel insulted. It's like, do you think I'm as stupid as you are? And that's the way I feel. Like I said, I call a duck a duck. Looks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck. And I'm like that. I'm a realist. And one thing you do when you are a realist is you take responsibility. All this stuff I'm telling you right now, you come up and you approach me with it, I will take responsibility for it. Yeah, I said it, and I meant it. I tell you, I'm trying to give you from the heart. I try to give you my truth, and I'll back it up. I'll give you examples. And people, they say, if you tell them that the road is round, how do you know it's round? Where's the proof? And I tell a lot of them. And my famous retort is when I say something that they don't believe in and they say, where's your proof? I ask them, well, what would you do with it? And they don't have a retort for that. See, they tell you just to be wise. A lot of them, especially the kids. Oh, where's your proof? I say, what would you do with it? What do you mean? Yeah, if I were to prove it, what would you do? Oh, believe it, but you don't believe it now. No, but with the proof, you would believe it. Would you do anything with that knowledge? And they look, and I said, no, you wouldn't, because you wouldn't know what to do with knowledge, because you don't have knowledge. Yeah, you get the toilet paper, but you don't have knowledge. Like I said, you can read a book about overhauling a motor. Okay? You can read the book. But until you actually have done it, you won't have knowledge, because you won't, believe me, it's way different. I took CPR when I was a tech. Every year we have to renew our CPR training. And my instructor told me, you do this kind of often. I go, yeah, at least once or twice a week. And he goes, I've never done it. I told him, you're teaching CPR, but you've never done it. actual done it. I mean, they do. They use resuscitation Annie, and I told him it's nothing like that. So I told him, next time you're in the hospital and you hear a code in ICU, come up. I see you there. I'll put you in. You can do compressions. You can feel what it feels like on a body. It's way different. The body don't go click 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 click. It doesn't do that. Everyone is different. Especially we have the geriatrics. You got to be very careful. I watched some of these interns, and this is gonna sound really cruel, but we let them do the CPR on patients that we have no hope of bringing them back because the CPR they do turns their ribs into hamburger. They don't understand that when you're 92 years old, your bones are so fragile, you have to be very gentle. You don't just pound, 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 pound. You actually feel. That's why I use the monitors. I watch the monitors, I watch the waveform. I have actually gotten a blood pressure from doing CPR. My high blood pressure is 142. I got 142 over 80 something. And no, that wasn't a patient coming back to life. That was the actual blood pressure the body was getting from my CPR. Then the doctor saw that. He goes, that was impressive. But yeah, you gotta feel. I said it's way different. What the stuff you're teaching, um, I mean that's good basics. But until you actually do it, that's the knowledge. He goes, oh, he goes, well, why don't you get, just rubber stamp? And I told him that they have to appear like I'm actually getting training. You know, that's the way it is. But that's responsibility. I take full responsibility. I've learned to do that from when I was growing up. You took responsibility. You screwed up. You paid the consequences, and there were consequences. It wasn't, you know, say sorry and it's all is forgiven. You got it. There are consequences. The word sorry, I'm sorry. Somehow along the line, we got to believe that saying sorry was enough. Okay? Sorry are words. They're just words. I'm sorry. 2 words. Air is forced out through your diaphragm. Okay? Comes up, through the esophagus, through the larynx, where a sound is made, into your mouth. The sound is formed into what we call words and expelled through your mouthpiece, your mouth opening. I'm sorry. How much effort did that take? I'm sorry is just words, and it's usually said to cover an action, a physical action. And like I said, physical actions, the only way you're going to undo it is you got to physically undo it. And I was taught this in elementary school. Sorry is a very general term, but it can be very specific. It has 3 major uses. The first usage, bad. Like, you're a sorry excuse for a human being. That's a sorry excuse for a car, It's something bad. The second one is a message of condolence. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sorry to hear that your dog died or something like that. It's a condolence. It's a note of sympathy. The third one, and I think, the most popular use of it is as an apology. Yeah. An apology, you have I would say 4 main things. Number 1, by saying it, you're establishing guilt. Because you wouldn't say sorry if you didn't do anything, right? You're apologizing for doing something. So you establish guilt. Okay. Number 2, establishing the guilt, you will take full circumstances. You will accept the consequences of your action. Okay. Number three, it's usually to cover, like I said, an action from one thing to another. So an apology is given from the offender to the offended. Okay, it's a one-way street. Okay, don't. It's not two ways. It's a one-way thing. It's something you give, an apology. And number four, and this is not a needed guarantee, there should be remorse. Remorse means you regret having done it, and hopefully you won't do it again. Okay, that's the remorse. You have remorse. Those four things. If you were listening, nowhere in that definition is there the expectation nor the transmittance of absolvement, of forgiveness. That's not for you to expect. That's not for you to exclaim by saying you're sorry. Forgiveness is the privilege, okay, the gift of the offended to the offender. So if they want to give you to forgive you, ask for it. But saying I'm sorry does not automatically forgive you for doing it. Yet today we say it. A kid acts up, what do? Tell him you're sorry, and that's it. Gone. Nothing's done. So he learns, oh, just gotta say I'm sorry, and it's all fine. Look at our governor. I'm sorry, I take full responsibility, and nothing happens. No one takes responsibility anymore. And responsibility is the consequences. That's the end product. That's what happens. I don't care if you're international governments or whatever. You've got to understand it. And we don't, as Americans. We've learned freedom means, you don't have to say, it started with that love story. Love means you don't have to say you're sorry. I wish it were that simple. No, love means you've got more understanding. You got more tolerance, maybe. But don't use it to screw somebody. Don't use it to offend somebody, offensively, on purpose. That's not love. That's abuse. That's abuse of it. And taking responsibility for it. Like I said, this entire project is me taking responsibility. I want to show you that things I've learned over life. That's what this is all about. And I've had enough playing games. I'm gonna kind of straight shoot. And like I said, please tell your friends about me, subscribe, and give me ideas. What do you want me to talk about? I can talk about pretty much everything as long as you don't want to get too technical. And I told you, except politics. Where's the responsibility there, right? And another one, religion. Just blame God. Like I tell everybody, when they blame the Catholic Church or they blame God for this, blame God for that, tell them, you know what you do? You get God, you get a lawyer, and you take God to court. You sue him. Sue him for your damages. Sue him for your disdain. Sue him for your distraught. Sue him for everything. And ask for unspecified damages. And you go to court, and of course you can make your case, and if it's good, you can win by default. Really, because God won't be there. Okay? And I'm not saying the church, I'm saying God. Bring the man in, okay? And when he's not there, then you win, and you got a judgment, and you beat God. Now you just got to try and collect. And again, that's sorry, but I'm not sorry. That's sarcasm, but that's what it is. That's how ridiculous it is. That's how ridiculous people are. Everything, blame everybody. Well, remember, when you point a finger, and this is told to me I think by my grandfather or my grandmother. But when you point finger, you got three over here, right? You got three fingers pointing back at you. You point one finger, you get three fingers pointing back. So if you're going to point, you point your whole hand, He went that way. But yeah, when you point finger, you're pointing at yourself. Look at yourself first before you assign blame. But like I said, when the governor of the state says, I know I don't let it go. I told you I'm tenacious. I'm just like a pit bull. I am a poi dog. I am mixed breed. But that's another subject. I want this to be entertaining for you. And like I said, I'll keep watching my YouTubes. I like them, and it doesn't surprise me anymore. Some of these people are just nuts. I mean, they go off saying, why are you arresting me? Why are you arresting me? And they keep saying, I don't know if they're drunk or if they're on drugs or they don't understand English or they just, I couldn't handle them. And that's why I think I'm not a policeman today, because my spirit, my God, knew this boy is not going to make it. He's going to end up killing somebody or, inflicting serious bodily injury. Yeah, my days, policemen, you respected them. But I grew up, knowing that, these people coming home at, 5, drunk. Yeah, waiting for the crash. Anyway, I was taught that a policeman was your friend. And the policeman would go by and I'd wave. He's this little kid wave and they wave back. And I knew most of them by name. I knew my bus drivers by name. I knew my postman by name. It was a simpler time back then. You knew everybody by their name. And everybody helped everybody else. And that was just part of, how great we were. And yeah, Mr. Trump wants that to come back again. It's a very good intent, President Trump, but unfortunately not very achievable. But try. You gotta try. It's like perfection. I know I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. But that doesn't mean you cannot try to be perfect. And I take the responsibility of knowing that, yeah, when I try to walk on water, I will go through the water. I can't walk on water. And I take responsibility because I know I'm going to screw up. And I screw up. Believe me, I screw up. Next time I, make some of my pico de gallo with 6 jalapeno peppers. Come and taste it. Pick you up in the morning. But anyway, I want to close this with a special closer too. And it's Kungi Fa Choi, which is Chinese for Happy New Year. It's the Lunar New Year Chinese on the 29th of this month. They've been celebrating the New Year for over 4,200 years, which is twice as long as we have. So I think they kind of know about it. And I just want to see all of you. Very Happy New Year again. And ahui ho, malama pono, and aloha. Bye-bye.